Welcome to Insights from the Couch, where real conversations meet real life at midlife.
We're Colette and Laura, two therapists and best friends, walking through the journey right alongside you. Whether you're feeling stuck, restless, or just unsure of what's next, this is a space for honest conversations, messy truths, and meaningful change.
And our Midlife Masterclass is now open. If you're looking to level up, get into action, and make midlife the best season yet, go to insightsfromthecouch.org and join our waitlist. Now let's dive in. All right, it's a big day today, 100 episodes.
How did we get here?
I don't know. I feel like crawling on my hands and knees, digging my fingers into the soil, grasping for each next step, bloodied and battered.
Right?
That's how I feel. But I mean, that's really more the book. The podcast has been amazing in every way. I'm so excited to be at this point together.
Yeah, same. And I've just been reflecting on all the people we've gotten to talk to. Like, what a cool resource that's been, just to hear from other women and other professionals and
authors, therapists, other professions. What are some of your favorites or things that you got the most from in terms of who we've had on the show or what we've talked about?
I mean, the one that's jumping off the page to me is Katherine Woodward Thomas, who actually just passed away, and sadly, but her work really hit me upside the head. I think it's beautiful. I think her theory is beautiful.
I agree. Can we just say something about that for a minute? Because I feel like, first of all, it's so sad to me that she passed away. I had this unexpected connection with her and that we share an agent for our books. And of course, she's been writing books forever. She's very, very well known and well respected. She first became famous because she wrote the book Conscious Uncoupling. And Gwyneth Paltrow notoriously co-opted that term when she was parting ways with Chris Martin. And remember on the podcast, she told us when that happened, it changed her whole life.
Yeah.
She went from overnight, just being a regular therapist like us and was launched into the stratosphere. But her work's amazing. And I want to recommend her book to you guys again, even though you might have heard her episode, What's True About You. I've been using a lot of her stuff in my coaching work, and I know you do too.
Yeah.
And for our women's groups, like, it's so aligned with the work we were already doing, but it really has given a lot of shape to the idea that even though you may have wounds, and therapy is certainly very valuable for a lot of different things. Obviously, we're both therapists for healing and understanding, and it doesn't really necessarily and often create transformation. And so this book is about really stepping into your new identity and changing yourself.
And one of the ideas in that book that really hit me over the head, of course, she has the whole idea of the source fracture story, like where you've gotten stuck or where your original woundedness is. And she's not discounting that at all. But then she challenges you to say, how have you become the source of that story, where we just keep recreating it and seeing it everywhere and selecting for it.
Yeah. How are you continuing to help the story thrive by your actions? So let's give an example of that. Do you have one from your own life? Because I think for a lot of people, self-limiting beliefs is another way to think of it. But I like source fracture because it's this narrative that seeps in early and you just see it as the truth. And so you end up living your whole life somewhat unconsciously replicating the truth of this thing that is just a mental construct and is totally holding you back. So give one from your life.
Well, from my life, I guess I have the one that she uses is actually one I can completely relate to.
Which one? Because I read the book too.
She used the one about how she was so devastated that her church did not host a book event for her.
Yes.
And she put it in her proposal, and she thought it was a foregone conclusion that they were going to invite her to do a book event, and they never did. And she was like so aggrieved by it. And she had like this whole narrative about like they didn't like her and they were not run well. And she just was getting so stuck in it. And when she finally shifted towards like, have I like done anything to show up for this church? And she realized like she never participated in anything. She went early. I mean, she went late. She left early. She never made eye contact. She didn't like, volunteer for any of the committees. And she was like, oh, like, they don't know me. They're not like invested in me. I've done that. I've done that thing. And then made it be like, oh, well, like, I don't think they like me very much. It's like, do they even know you?
Right. But what was the source fracture story? What was
I'm not wanted. I'm not wanted.
What?
I'm not chosen.
So the idea is that your source fracture story, the way you see yourself, can end up making you act in ways as if the story's true that actually create the outcome. It's the same thing with couples that I talk about all the time in my book and in my work, right? Like you think your partner sees you a certain way and then you act as if you're defensive because you think you're never good enough in their eyes. And then you get the very responses, or you fear someone will leave you. And so then you are suspicious and questioning them and controlling them. And then they eventually leave because of your behavior, not because the thing was true in the first place. And that's what she talks about in the book.
Yeah. And you get what you focus on. And the more you select for it, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're missing the holistic truth of the thing. But I think her work has really hit me and has impacted me. And it's shown me a way that therapy can be different and more of a transformative experience. Yeah. She really encourages you to like challenge yourself to level up for an impossible goal, to want something. And that the wanting of something is the thing that pulls you forward and calls you to your best self and to level up. And I think we all need that thing that orients us into forward motion.
Yeah, and she's very powerful. So I'd been doing some coaching with her, which is, I think, another reason why I was so affected by her passing. I mean, I had just seen her a couple of days before she died, and I knew that she was sick with ovarian cancer. I did not think that the end was imminent, and she's just such a lovely, powerful spirit. But when I was part of the work is creating intentions for yourself. And it's based on the work of a couple of other psychologists who wrote this article called The Possible Self. And she threads this throughout the book, right? Who could you be? What life could you be if you believed in yourself? And also that we're not going to be anything that we don't imagine and set an intention for. Yep. So you don't have to be 100% sold, but if you don't start telling your mind, hey, it's not that I'm not wanted, right? It's that if somebody doesn't want me, that doesn't mean I'm not lovable and good enough, and that's that person's choice and frankly their loss. It's just a new way to see it. And let me engage with people and give them the chance to know me before I assume that they don't want me or to connect with me. So one of the things that was so powerful for me is that, you know, I'm thinking about I don't even want to say it like that. Let me correct myself. I am stepping into a role as a professional speaker.
Yay.
Yeah, but as I say, there's a lot of ambivalence because I suffer from really terrible social anxiety when it comes to public speaking fear, which is so common and just such a survival-based reaction to standing up in front of the herd for judgment. And at the same time, I really love it, but it puts my body through a lot of really taxing stress. So it's also scary. It feels like I've reinvented myself again and again and again and again. And now there's more. It's like no rest for the weary. Yeah. So on the call with her, I was like, I think I might do some professional speaking. And she was like, no, your intention needs to be. And she said these words, by 2028, I will have at minimum 6 speaking gigs on global stages with at least 1,000 attendees and speaker fees of $40,000. And I was like, Katherine, I was like, I went like this.
I love this.
Yeah, and she goes, good. Your reaction. And this is why I want you guys listening to hear this, because I never would have shot that high. And when she said it, my reaction was cringe and fear. And she was like, good. It should feel scary. It should feel a little impossible. Your reaction is what we want when we're setting these intentions. Not like, I was like, I'll book one paid gig this year. And she was like, no, Colette.
It's so funny because I'm like, I'm thinking of, business stuff. And the same thing is true. I'm reading this book called The Science of Scaling that a client actually recommended. And it's so interesting. Like one of the parts of the book, the thesis is that this like incremental growth, which I'm a pretty big fan of, it's like worked for me in some ways.
Well, I agree with that. There's a space for incremental growth.
We recommend that constantly.
Stretch a little.
Stretch a little, keep building. And I think there's always a role for that. I don't want to discount it. But this book is like, you know what? What if you shortened your timeline and you had to get from where you wanted to go in like a year? And you had to now like pick like really different pathways because now you only have a year and you gotta go. And it's interesting. It's like when you feel a big goal like that, it's like, I'll just do a little. And, I think people get stuck in like not accessing the pathways for growth that they could access because, it's like they can't step into that future possible self of like, I'm going to have 6 paid gigs. Yeah. Like, of course you are, Colette.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was powerful. She like really landed for me. Is there anybody for you that we've had on that like really...
Well, there have been so many great episodes. I mean, Dr. Nay, who is the real life Margot Robbie from The Wolf of Wall Street. She was married to Jordan Belfort. She just was so interesting, and she does incredible work in South Florida with women who are dealing with narcissistic abuse. I loved having Janie Lacey on talking about that and love addiction. Marnie, who I already mentioned, Marnie Feuerman, talking about her book and these toxic dynamics and even giving space to the thought of being the other woman in a dynamic, something that's so taboo and hard to talk about, but many people have been. We had Vonda Wright on for that great episode about
Kelly Casperson.
Yes. The episode with Dr. Kelly Casperson really changed the way I approach my health, that I'm right in the heart somewhere of menopause. And it really empowered me to go change doctors, ask questions, push for hormones, do research, and realize that so much of what I thought was wrong.
Yeah. No. She absolutely reshaped my perspective on all of that. I mean, over the last 2 years with our like sort of foray into the perimenopause, menopause space and going to the menopause conferences. I mean, I think this is on the forefront of the culture right now anyway. And maybe I'd be like leaning into this, but it's really reshaped my idea of what's possible in midlife and how to take care of your health.
Me too.
I feel really grateful to be pushed to learn more about that.
What else stands out to you from our episodes? There's so many good ones. I mean, of course, one of my favorites is one with when we talked about the true crime cases.
I know. Oh, that was great. I mean, I loved Kate Flanders.
Yeah.
I loved her. She's just, she was the woman who like did the year of less. And I mean, she lives a really different life. Lives abroad and kind of has a really life of her own creation. And she's just such a kind of,
I think there's something to
spirit.
That. Yeah. And obviously there's something to that, but I mean, I wonder if as a society, a lot of people, some people already are, but are going to start moving in that direction. And I've thought about this. You start to feel like being in business, you have to be on all these platforms and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I don't really enjoy that part of it. I definitely want to have an impact and be able to help people and do things I love that I'm good at that help people. Like that's the goal, right? For life, for a purposeful career path and life. But the return to the analog of, just have a phone in a drawer and living life outside where you go for long, like in Italy, they call them like passeggiata, like taking a walk every night and talking to people IRL. Like,
I love it.
I know. I wonder if we're going to.
And I'm even thinking about my relationship to stuff. Like I'm getting ready to move and I've like packed most of my house into boxes. And I have to tell you, I can't remember what's in them. And like, I realize like, I do not need like a tenth of the things that I think I need. And just to like rethink like what a meaningful, valuable life looks like as we age. And I don't want to be the person who's leaving a hoard to my children.
Oh, I guarantee I'm the queen of the purge. My kids, when I die, will have my home cleaned out in like 10 minutes. Like my goal is to get
gift.
Yes. But I feel the same as you, and I'm big on being clutter free. It's actually an anxiety thing for me. Like not even just anxiety. I feel good and think best and feel comforted by a clean, aesthetically pleasing space. Like clutter isn't good for my mentality. And there's truth to that really for all people. Clutter is not a great thing. So I want to do another like massive purge and let go of some old stuff, even that I hold on to for sentimentality. Not that you can't keep anything, but the boots from 6 years ago that I haven't put on once, why do I have them?
Right. I think we should do a whole episode about this because you know what? One of the things that I've started following out of just like total voyeuristic interest is like estate sales. Like there's this, have you seen like the Posh Peacock? They do estate sales all over like Winter Park in Orlando. And so it's like these people who are like ready to move to like the Mayflower or maybe like they've passed away or whatever. And people go through their homes and buy their things. And it's like these time capsules of like the 80s and 90s, like probably things your mother owned and my mother owned. And I just get like it's so like sad to me, like the accumulation. And I think one of the things women can get so sidetracked into is accumulation as a way of building the life worth living. And it's really like such a false flag. Yeah. And it like makes me sad. It makes me I don't know. It like really makes me sad.
I can see that. No, I agree. And also, I had an estate sale for my house when I moved right before I met Steve, like 15 years ago or whenever that was, where I just sold everything. All the furniture I had that I had had in my first marriage that I moved into my house when I got divorced. It was really nice, classic, beautiful stuff. Old-timey kind of classic furniture that in a way I hated to part with. All my kids' American Girl dolls, everything. I basically left the house and I said, just sell everything I own. And I rented an apartment at Lake Lily, which is this area in the Winter Park area that's like on a lake. And at the time it was a little newer and
I love it over there.
Yeah. But that was like an exciting shift for me. And I just went and furnished my tiny apartment from IKEA. It looked great, actually.
It did.
And I just completely shed everything I owned. And because I'm such a shedder, occasionally I'll miss something. Occasionally. Once in a blue moon, I'll be like, oh, I should have kept that.
Yeah.
But so rarely. And even that's fleeting. I think there's something to that. Let's do that. I also want to do this.
Yes. Oh, I like have that one in my office right now. And I was reading it.
So the new issue of Psychology Today, you can see I was reading it at the pool with Curran. So it's got like, tanning oil, sunblock, not tanning oil. Yeah. It's been a long time since I put on tanning oil. Sunblock,
gel.
50 sunblock because I'm that age. But it's Begin Again, How to Start Over and Work, Life, and Love. So obviously we talk about this all the time. Our coaching program that our next group's going to start this fall is all about this reinvention, beginning again, living your best life. Wherever you are, there's more. But I want to do an episode really focused on this. Have you read the article yet?
I have. You know what? I've skimmed it. I'm going to go and like really read it.
Yeah, I want to reread it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, and we were talking about, and let's just touch on this briefly, that first of all, I'm 52 and I saw this post the other day. It's probably BS because everything on the internet is like fake news anyway at this point. But it said peak satisfaction in life hits at 52. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't know if I want this to be the best it gets, but
I mean, also, because isn't there an article where it's like your worst year is like 47 to 48? It's interesting how you can go from like such a low to such a high.
I also think you can say just about anything.
Yeah,
so,
you can.
But it reminds me of what you and I were chatting about over our glass of wine the other day, which is just even for us, which is the idea that, and what we see with our clients, that midlife is on one hand, really, really hard. You have a lot pulling on you. But at the same time, it's incredibly fertile ground for this to be the richest season. And maybe that doesn't look like a career pivot for you. Maybe it looks like relationship changes or self-development, new hobbies, like a side gig, a new pursuit, writing a book. I mean, there's so many running a marathon, what like you're doing. There's so many ways, but if we're not intentional about these years, they're going really, really fast.
Oh, I hate the ways. Or they get circular, or like women's movements can get really circular and repetitive.
And we get stuck.
We get stuck. And so it's like, don't waste this time. Like the years from like the late 40s through the 70s are just creative opportunities if you can tap into it.
And a real renaissance for women, because we can step out of, I mean, those of us who have lived under the male gaze and in heterosexual relationships, finally really reclaiming your voice, standing up for yourself, thinking about what you want, not just caretaking others, but also thinking about your own needs. For some people, it's the first time ever to do that. And some people aren't doing that yet, and we want to encourage you to start.
Yeah, and there's like real sadness there. You know, it's just like, I even just posted about this. Like, I'm done with pickups and drop-offs. Like, we didn't do like a car for our senior. We will when he goes to college. But like, I have done a drop-off or a pickup for 22 years, Colette. And that like is coming to an end next week. And that's like, I mean, obviously I'm like, oh, great. Like, I don't ever have to like think about my morning or I can stay and work later. There's all kinds of things that like are going to be good about that. But there's also like, oh my God, like that chapter is over.
I know. I felt a lot of grief about that too. I mean, on the one hand, there were certain years where I felt like I spent 3+ hours a day in the car, just shuttling kids, school and to friends and activities. But that becomes what you organize your life around. And it also, for many years during the parenting process, middle school, teenage years, that can be the only quality time sometimes you really have with your kid, where they're captive and can theoretically engage, you know, to varying degrees of success. So I felt a lot of grief when that was over too. It's a big transition, and so many women, their lives really are organized around their children.
Yeah. And so this
can leave a hole.
A hole. So there's a grief that has to be processed through before maybe you shift into like the creative opportunity. Or maybe those things happen together, but...
Yeah, I think they happen together, but I think they're both important because the grief is there and it's important. It's appropriate, right? Your kids are like, our kids are everything to us. Mm-hmm. And yet it is an opportunity and developmentally appropriate for kids to launch and for parents to reclaim their time. And now what are we going to do with it?
Which is like where we're headed with this podcast, right?
Yes.
This is where we're headed. Like, we're clearer than ever that women's emotional lives and creative lives and need to deserve to come into like full vibrancy.
And that's what this podcast has been for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on our own individual journeys, but together as women who have been friends for many years, this is something we wanted to do, to step into a new role and to take this time, even though your kids have still been around in these last years, they're a lot older, they're independent.
Yeah.
You know, mine have been gone now for so long, it's crazy. And one's on the other side of the world.
That's crazy to me.
It's crazy to me too. And I actually just wrote about it on my Substack. I really feel that distance in my body. I can feel it viscerally.
Oof.
Yeah. As a mom, it feels, you know, my parents are so great, but I swear to God, I don't think they were that attached to me in that same way. I really don't. And maybe this is just how we've changed parenting. In some ways that's good, and in some ways maybe is a little over-involved. But the fact that I can't reach her in an emergency, I can't get in a car and drive there. I can't even hop on a plane. I mean, it's 12 hours of flying, multi-flight journey. It just, At the same time, she was just home, and I was thinking, it's okay to be sad, a little sad that she's far away, but it's every mother's dream that their child is activated in her own life and thriving. She loves it there. She's built a life for herself. She has a great job. She has a great boyfriend. Like, she's really doing her thing and misses me in an appropriate way, but her life isn't wrapped up in anything but what she wants to do with it. And that's really exciting too as a parent.
This is where I think the 20s are like so instructive. And that's another guest that we had on that I like loved was Dr. Meg J.
Oh my God. And wait, can I just tell you something? Corinne told me she read that book. What's it called again? Her
Defining Decade.
Thank you.
I tell everybody about that.
And she said that, and I meant to write Meg and tell her this. She was like, you know, that great book, Defining Decade, is the reason Colton, that's her boyfriend, and I sat down and had certain conversations that we needed to have. Isn't that amazing? I need to email her and tell her.
But this is where I think the 20s, like we're parenting 20-somethings, a lot of us. And so we get to see their lives come into full vibrancy. Like my daughter's just moved to South Florida, living her best life, doing an internship. And I mean, I'm watching her just step into herself, similarly to the way you've watched your daughters step into themselves. And it's like, this is so instructive for us.
Yes.
Like we're on a parallel path. We may be 30 years ahead, but like we're having to do much the same work they have to do. Yep. And so taking a page out of our kids' books.
Yes, instead of, right. I love that. You're right. It is a parallel thing. And I think it's exciting for our kids. I know my kids are very proud of me and say that all the time. And I think it sets good modeling that we're doing something with ourselves that is fulfilling to us. And I think this is really what we want to encourage people. It's what's fulfilling to you. It doesn't have to be any one particular thing, but I think there are people who are just sort of stuck and confused, or there are self-limiting beliefs, source fracture stories, or there aren't enough factors pushing. And the thought is, well, one day, or I guess I would, or maybe I will. And life can just go by. And if you're not feeling a tremendous sense of purpose, it's really not good for your mental or physical health. And we've all got such a creative soul in there. It's not like whether you're a creative person. It's a matter of finding your own creative center. So we're going to be bringing more of this, lots more of this in this next season and these next years. And you guys reach out to us and let us know what you want to hear about. info@insightsfromthecouch.org, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what our email is? I should know this better.
And just one final thought on like the parenting piece is like, and the development is that I hear all the time from like adult kids that they're really sad when their parents stop growing, or that they watch their parents not set boundaries with other family members, and they just like are caretakers and don't reclaim their lives, it's not good for them to watch us not step into our power. So you want to be a good parent for the whole journey. Your activated self is your best gift at a certain point.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you have to give it. The rest, the generation coming up from behind you is they will largely develop to what they see possible in their family. That's where you see like a whole family of doctors. The generation below knows what it looks like to be a doctor or lawyer. You know what I mean? Like everybody kind of sees what's possible ahead of them. So it's like, if you want to carve the path for your kids, be an activated adult.
Yeah. And I just am mulling over the term activated self. I think that's what this is all about. It's really not the destination, because you get to one thing and then, it's okay, what's next, right? For years now, I've been pushing toward this book. Now my book's out and now it's on to a new goal. It's being on the trajectory of activation, that you are alive and you are engaged in your own life.
It's being actively engaged with life.
Yes.
And that can look so many different ways, but you know it when you feel it.
You're connected to yourself. You have goals, you have dreams, you're setting intentions, you're thinking about who you spend your time with. This is the season to do all of this. So more to come. We're so grateful to you all for listening.
100 episodes. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah. Not many podcasts make it this far.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Okay. Yay, us.
I know.
Well, we're not going anywhere. So 100 more to come, and reach out. Let us know what you want to hear about. We want to bring topics to you that enrich your lives, that are helpful and useful and interesting to you. And we're going to we have a really great season coming up. So I think you're going to enjoy it. Lots of good stuff coming. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.